Morning, scholars. It is February 5th, 2021, and we're going to continue working with the same aim today, where we're going to be sequencing events of the Mongol Empire using cause and effect. I hope you enjoyed the video yesterday. It's one of my favorites, and students always really like it. Of course, it's a lot more fun to watch it together in the classroom, but at least you got to see it. I know a lot of you were asking me for more information about Genghis Khan. So you have a quick do now. You have some timeline practice. We've actually looked at this timeline before. So go ahead and pause your video and complete this do now. All right, so number one, it would be A. You see that A, Rosa Parks gave up her seat in 1955, and Martin Luther King gives his speech in 1963. How many years after slavery was abolished was the Civil Rights Act passed? 1865 and 1875, so that's 10 years. Even though slavery wasn't really abolished, but we're not going to go there. What year was the NAACP founded? That's going to be in 1909. What year was segregation banned on public transits? That's going to be 1946. And then number 5, how many years or what is the span? It's 150, 1850 to 2000. So you would just take 2000 or subtract 1850 from 2000 and you would have your answer. So in your notes, you have this as blank, so I'd like you to fill these in. And these are just the social groups that we're going to be talking about today in Mongol China, the social hierarchy. So ironically, even though the Mongols controlled most of China, they didn't want to be like the Chinese. They wanted to be separate from them. So naturally, those people, I shouldn't say those people, Chinese people or people from China were at the bottom of the totem pole, particularly people from southern China. And part of that is because the Mongols are actually from like Northwest Asia, Northwest China. So they're actually a little bit more closer to the Mongols. So the people from southern China were seen as more inferior. But Mongols, of course, are going to put themselves at the top and then other foreigners. But the Chinese were always at the bottom, even though we're in China. This is a map of the Mongol Empire in 1227. So you can see all of this is Mongol. And you can even see to kind of compare it with time, like here's the Holy Roman Empire. So this is all happening at the same time. This map's really cool. I love this. So this is just a moving map showing you how much it grew. So it starts in 1206, 1227, 1259, 1294. Now, in 1294, it goes those different colors because Genghis Khan dies. And so what they do is just like they did in the Roman Empire and Greece, they divided up the empires into different what's called khanates because his name was Genghis Khan. I'm sorry, after Kublai Khan dies, they divided up into different khanates to be better managed. So that's what those different colors represent, just the different borders, but that's all still the Mongol Empire. This map just kind of goes through the trade routes as well as Marco Polo's route. So everyone's like, Marco Polo, that was a game in the pool. Well, it's because Marco Polo was traveling and looking for things for Kublai Khan. He was in search of something. And so when you're in the pool and you're playing Marco Polo, you're trying to find the person yelling Polo back to you. But he didn't really know where he was going, so he's kind of doing it blind. So if you get it when you play Marco Polo, your eyes are closed, that type of thing. But this goes through that, so you can check that out. So we're going to do some quick practice, and then I will set you free on your own. But again, we're working with cause and effect. So as we're reading, I want you to think about these two questions. One, what caused, let me move my head. In 1279, the Mongols finally gained control of all of China. So what caused that to happen? So think about that as we're reading. And then after that, we're actually going to be able to answer that first. After that, ways Kublai Khan changed the government, and we're going to identify 3 of those. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And again, I want you to think about while we're reading this first part, what caused the Mongols to finally gain control of all of China. Before they could fully establish control over China, the Mongols had to complete their conquest of the southern Song. In 1260, Genghis Khan's grandson Kublai Khan took over northern China. He began a 20-year effort to defeat the Song. The many rivers and canals crossing southern China prevented the Mongols from moving quickly. Kublai Khan solved the problem by building a fleet. With thousands of ships, the Mongols were able to capture cities along southern China. In 1279, all the Mongols finally gained control of China. Kublai Khan had already declared himself the ruler of a new dynasty, the Yuan, in 1271. Yuan means the origin or beginning. So I'm just going to stop because I saw this direct quote right in my text right here in 1279. So obviously, if that's the effect, I'm going to be looking for the cause, which is going to be happen before that. So I'm going to go backtrack. Thousands of ships, the Mongols were able to capture cities. So, and he does that by building a fleet. Oops. Kublai Khan builds a fleet and is able to gain control of cities along southern rivers. Again, putting it in my own words. I did not put it in my own words in the effect, so I have to put it in quotations. It's something that we are struggling with. You guys are putting exactly what's in the text, but you're not putting in quotations, and that's not your thought. All right. So now I want you to think about ways Kublai Khan changed the government as we go on. By declaring a new dynasty, Kublai showed his intention to honor some Chinese traditions. He kept much of the Song bureaucracy. He also adopted rituals of the Chinese court. In these ways, he kept symbols of Chinese royal power. In other ways, Kublai changed China's government. So now I already see that this is like my kind of prompt. So now I'm really wanting to zone in. In other ways, however, Kublai changed the Chinese government. He reduced the power of scholar officials. He suspended the civil service exams and placed his own followers in office. Kublai also gave more power to regional officials. I can't. Um sorry guys. So the first one we see is he reduced power scholar officials. We then see he stopped the civil service exams. And he gave more power to regional officials. So you want to get that down. You can pause and get that down while you're doing that. And then, moving on, you're going to read about society. Question number 3 is an opinion, so I just want you to think about why the Mongols would want to remain separate. What are some reasons for that? There's no right or wrong answer, but I want to see what your viewpoint is on that. Then we're working more with cause and effect, Marco Polo, and then your final check. And then you're all good. All right. So you guys have a great weekend and work hard to make sure you're meeting these expectations. A lot of people still are, I don't want to say failing, but not meeting those expectations. So you want to make sure you're doing all of these 3 things. And don't forget to fill out your attendance. Thanks and have a great weekend, guys.